All right, good evening, folks. This is your host, Eddie G. The show we're on tonight is The Gigs Up. It's going live. It's live on YouTube, and I'm recording for my Apple podcast. Again, all things are in this show is a wild show, okay? I know you've seen some of my other stuff, and I talk about me and all that shit. Well, we're not doing that here. This show, The Gigs Up, we'll talk about anything, and I mean anything and everything you want to talk about. So hit me up in the comments section if you want to discuss a specific topic. If not, I'll just start rambling and we can go from there. All right. What do you think about that shit? All right. Today, man, I've been all about energy, right? I got censored like shit on Facebook. But anyway, copyright stuff or whatever. I've applied for all those licenses. Anyway, what are we going to talk about tonight? Energy. So, things happened to me a while ago, and I've gotten to understand a lot, and I'm just going to share that with you guys, right? Energy, right? It's everything. It's the only thing. And it's what makes the world go round, right? Whether it's oil and coal and natural gas or air or water, food, whatever. It's all energy, right? And where does that energy come from, man? Us. We got energy, right? That's all we are is energy. Here, anyway. The energy in the universe, right? It's universal energy we're talking about, guys. It's everywhere. It's always here. And it always works inside of each and every one of us. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's up to you to decide that. Oh, first and foremost, I forgot this shit. Why I got censored. I do not own any of the content that I may talk about that belongs to somebody else. I'm not trying to monetize their content. I'm trying to monetize my content. And whatever. I'm giving this shit away for free. I'm going to get sponsors. I know that. They're going to want to come on board because I'm talking real shit. But to satisfy all the artists out there and all the creators, I'm not trying to piggyback off you guys. I don't need you. All right. I love you, but I don't need you. All right. I'm going to piggyback off of myself. Anyway, that license is coming. So let's get back to energy. If you all can grasp, and the basic concept of that little old thing called the atom, right? Okay. That's the key to this whole thing, man, right? Is the atom because of its vibration and the energy that it vibrates, right? And so what we know so far scientifically is everything's created of atoms, right? Okay. I mean, we learned that in school, right? Atoms are, what are they? Negative and positive charged eons and ions and protons or whatever, and some neutrons mixed in somewhere in some shit. I don't know. Oh. No, seriously, the basic stuff, right? If we can start understanding that, we can really start understanding this whole situation that's going on, what's been going on globally, universally, because energy is universal. And we are experiencing an energy shift, guys. All right. How do I describe it? For me, it's like somebody's tearing at the fabric of the universe, right? It's being pulled apart, right? And we're in a orbital cycle that I've been researching. Look, first of all, I'm very uneducated in this stuff, right? I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm very uneducated. I have common sense. I have the ability to research, but the actual knowledge of the things I'm talking about, do your own research is all I'm going to tell you, okay? Figure it out for yourself like I did, right? But I'm going to help you do that because that's what I should do, right? That's what we all should do. We should help each other figure it out. Right? I can't figure it out for you. Nobody can. Got to do it on your own. Energy, right? It's in everything, everywhere, all the time. Positive and negative. For every action, equal and opposite reaction, and blah, 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 right? Okay, we all know these things. Um, what we fail to realize is that we can control the energy, right? I know how to control the energy. That was a gift I was given during this energy shift, right? Which, I said in one of my, I don't know what you call that shit, uh, whatever it is, right? My family and my, people that love me became very concerned that I was going through some mental shit, right? Because I do suffer from depression. But anyway, so I volunteered to go to any doctor they want, anytime they want to go. Really don't care, right? I'll go. But back to energy. So when you understand that you can control it and you understand how to control it, it becomes a very, very powerful thing, right? And that's why I think and I believe that I wasn't given this until I was in a headspace where I could control it. Okay. And if you look at society and people and creators, especially, you see a lot of them that get this power, right? Because it is, and it's the power of creation. It's the energy of all creation, guys. And some of them can handle it, some of them can't handle it, right? So you do like some of those beautiful artists. I'll go back as far as I can remember, like Hendrix and Janis Joplin, and as as current as Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, or Kurt Cobain from Nirvana, or any of them, man. Chris Cornell. I mean, the voices, the art they created was beautiful. It was outstanding, right? But they couldn't control the power, and it consumed them. And you know, that's the unfortunate thing. But they did leave their mark, and they left breadcrumbs for us to follow, as all creators do. They leave these breadcrumbs because you cannot, you cannot you cannot do this. I can't do it for you. Let me rephrase. I'm trying to put a song on. Sorry. I get one earbud in and I listen to music while I'm talking. But anyway, um, nobody can do it for you guys. That's the fucked up thing, right? That's the reality, is you have to do it on your own. Okay. And it takes work, right? To be able to control that power that you get, right? You have to be mentally and physically prepared for it, okay? Because you go through a whole bunch of shit, right? Um, to get to the point, right? You got to go through all of this shit to get to the point where you get the power, okay? And you only get it once you've gone through the shit that allows you to balance it, right? To keep it under control, right? To keep the positive energy under control, the negative energy under control, right? So the atom again, right? Pluses and minuses. It's all it is, man. This whole game is pluses and minuses, right? How far on the positive side do you want to bat over 500? How far below 500 do you want to bat? Okay, because you're allowed to bat under 500 or whatever. I don't know, whatever. I'm using bat. I don't even know if that's even the right fucking number, to be honest with you. I don't care, but you get the point. The point is, you can vibrate in the positive for sure, and you can vibrate in the negative for sure. But the secret is being able to keep those little things inside your atoms from vibrating one way or the other too often. Okay. That's where you start having problems. That's where the universe has problems, and the earth has problems, and the people have problems, the animals. It's all connected, man. Everything is put together for us to have the most incredible experiences here. Okay. And we're approaching a time in the universe, okay, and here on Earth, where the energy is shifting, okay, And if you look at the history of man, um, you know, as far back as you want to go, it's always been one of consuming and taking more and consuming more and giving less and taking more and taking more and taking more, right? So it's unbalanced. It's unbalanced the universe, right? I mean, that's one part of it. Here on this planet, we've unbalanced the universe's energy, right? Which has caused us to be unbalanced, right? So that's simple, right? But it's not easy. That's the fucked up thing. So the universe, is ever expanding, right? I talk about that a lot. I believe it. Um, I don't know why I believe it, but I believe it, that it's always growing. I mean, these new telescopes we're sending out, that technology is, a lot of people say, well, that's just some fucking AI fake bullshit that NASA's doing to collect money. Okay, cool. Maybe it is. I don't know. But the pictures are fucking awesome. Okay. And if you look at those pictures and you can wrap your mind around how small not only our planet is or we are, but how small our galaxy is, right? How small the Milky Way is in relationship to the entire universe that we know of, right? Because we don't know it all, okay? For sure. But if you can wrap your head around that, right? That, we are just a tiny fraction of the whole, right? But we're connected to everything, right? I mean, we're connected to everything. And so, I let my negative energy consume most of me for a long time, right? But I got this energy shift I'll talk about, and from there, man, I'll let all that negative shit go. I'll let all the you know people I had issues with. I'll let them all fucking go. Um, I'll let people that have said and done things to me and harmed or hurt. I'll let them go. Fuck them. I don't need them, right? And I come now from a place of just love, man, just the positive, right? Just love, right? It's fucking easy if you can get there, right? And stay there, right? Okay. It's okay to play in the negative, right? You're allowed to. We're all allowed to, right? We just can't play there too long, right? We get lost there if we play too long. Same thing in the opposite direction, right? You play in the positive too far, you're going to get lost there. So I forget where I forget where I'm at a lot, guys. This is for the Apple podcast. I do suffer from smoking too much cannabis and short-term memory loss issues. So, but I usually find my way back to the topic. If not, somebody can bump me that way if they want. But so you then come from this place of love, right? And then you look at the world and you start seeing that, you start understanding that little fucking atom, that has the positive and negative energy inside of it is also here on our earth, right? On our planet. So we're going to have people that are going to be fucked up haters and murderers and rapists and pigs and greedy fuckers and all that shit. We're going to have all of that, right? We're not going to stop it. We can't stop it. Okay. It's universal. The negative is universal, guys. Okay. And we're not going to be able to stop it. But with the power that I was given, I was shown how to control it, right? And to use it to my advantage. Okay. And that's what I'm here to talk about and teach. And not really teach or preach because, you got to figure it out, man. I can't figure it out for you. I can just leave breadcrumbs, man, right? Just like everybody else. And we've been living, breadcrumbs have been left for us for thousands of years. That's how far back this problem goes, okay? Because it is a universal issue. And when you grasp the concept of the universe, okay, being infinite and ever growing, right? Like I believe, then, then I look at our solar system as a piece of that universe, right? And I see our sun, right? And I see our planets orbiting around our energy source, our life source for our planet, right? Because without it, we would not be here. So then I started thinking, well, if that's our center, right? And the Big Bang, to me, the beginning is the center of the universe, not the start of, but the center of. Okay. And it could be the start of, but it started as the center, not an outside edge. So when I start comparing them, then I realize that, if this theory is true, which I believe it is, and that's all it is my theory, right? All right. It's my understanding of the A's and of the pluses and minuses, is that then our universe is in an orbit around its center. Okay. And it's going around, and it takes thousands and thousands and thousands of years for our solar system to orbit the center of the universe, right? Now, that's some far out shit, right? Plausible for sure, right? I mean, look at it. Look at our solar system, right? We know that planets in other solar systems orbit and moons orbit and all that shit, right? So taking that into consideration, and what I was understanding about this energy thing that's going on in the universe, right, is the Earth is in they say it's in the horoscope folks, and that they say that it's more of the we're in the age of Aquarius, right? We're coming into the age of Aquarius. All right. Is that horoscope? I don't know. Right. It's one of them. Right. It's not wrong. Right. We're coming into a phase of our orbit around the universe center and we're in an elongated orbit, guys. Okay. We get closer to the center, and then we get further away, and then as we come back around, we get a little closer. I saw this somewhere. Okay. So, I don't know where. I can look it up. That's what I did. So we're in this phase, right, where we're getting closer to the center of the universe. Okay. And I just realized I was blocking the camera on YouTube. Sorry about that. If you care, if you don't, whatever. So we're coming, in this elongated orbit that we are around the center of the universe. We're coming into a phase where we're going to be closer to the center than we have been. I think it's like 26,000 years or some shit like that, right? It's a long time. Okay. So looking at that, then, and looking at an atom and looking at the vibrations of positive and negative, you see where the gravitational pull is going to, zip us around the backside of the center and start sending us back out, right? So the further away we get from the universe, the more negative energy we have, okay? Because we're further away from the sun. If you want to use the center of the universe analogy that I'm using, and using the sun as its center, okay? We'll use that for simplicity's sake, right? So we get far away from our sun, right? And shit starts happening in the wrong way, right? The negative way, right? And it stays that way for a long time, right? And now we're entering that age of Aquarius, or that age in the universe. Our space in the universe is coming into the closeness to our life source, the universe's life source, right? And that is a positive thing. It's like being closer to your mom and dad. Okay, we're back close to mom and dad. Can you guys even hear me? I don't even know. Whatever. So we're entering that phase of our orbit around the center of the universe. Okay, wild stuff, right? And this was one of the things that when I had a little energy shift here, I guess probably been a couple months now. I don't even know. It's one of the things that I began to understand, right? and again, I'm not an educated guy. I mean, I'm educated in common sense and all that shit, and out here in the street, whatever. But as far as scientific or any of that kind of shit, I've always looked at the stars, but never understood it all. Right? I always was fascinated how folks in the old days, until I started, digging into this recently. How they, navigated. That was always fascinating to me. Right? By navigating by the stars and the rotation of the Earth within its orbit around the sun and the moon's orbit around it. Fascinating stuff, right? How cool is that? And that's been going on since we've been looking at the stars. We've been figuring that out, right? So, that's all we're doing, man, is we're figuring shit out, right? We're figuring out how this whole thing works. I was lucky enough to I was given my piece of the puzzle that I was missing, and plugged it in, and was given the light. I was given the wide open view of the universe. Okay. And it's awesome. Okay. It is outstanding. Right. And when you can get there, and like I said, it takes work to get there, and we can talk about it. I've talked about it on my other show, because a lot of it is personal that you have to go through. Right. But we can talk about that at another time. I just want to I'm on energy right now. So, so I started watching all these shows, man, and started internet researching and just digging in deep, right? Because I'm retired, so I have all that time, right? We're not wealthy, but we have everything we need. So, I don't need to do this for money. I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do, right? I'm doing it because I want to make other how beautiful and how awesome it really is. You can get yourself there. When you get there, I have no idea. How you get there, I have no idea. For you, right? I know how I got there. That's all I can share that part of it with. But anyway, so back to energy. It's such a powerful, powerful thing to be able to control it. Okay. I've said this already, and I'll keep saying it because it is. And, I do believe that the reason I was never given this earlier is because I was a pretty self-destructive dude, man. Okay. Whatever. But I'm giving it now, and it's beautiful. So, when you get it and you realize that you can control this energy, right? And it's not just your energy is part of it. That's the learning process that you have to go through to get to be able to control the real energy, right? The universal energy, the energy of all, okay? The energy of all. And when you get that, right, there's only two ways to use it, right? Man, I am dark on this screen. That's all right. I don't like light anyway. It is shit. When you get this and you learn that you can control it, right? And it's always a fight to control it, because and we're going to get into the psychology of that, right? Later. But how you control it is going to dictate what you do here on this planet. Okay. And unfortunately, throughout history of mankind, as far back as I can find, we've always been at fucking war with each other, right? Not, whatever culture, it doesn't matter. Whatever continent, it doesn't matter. Always, right? And, a lot of times the positive side wins. A lot of times the negative side wins. A lot of times no one wins, right? And in the crux of all of that, a lot of shit gets destroyed. A lot of people lose their lives, and a lot of fucking nightmares happen, right? The guys that fight the wars come home with nightmares. The guys that lose their limbs come home with nightmares. The families of those folks have nightmares. It's on and on and on and on, right? I mean, what a fucked up way to live, right? What a fucked up way to have to live, right? But they're necessary, just like, the dark energy is necessary. What's happened is we got too far away from our center, right? We were out of balance with our universe, you know, and it's going to constantly happen, right? Because we cannot control the orbit, right? We can't control where our solar system goes, just like you can't control what your kid does a lot of times, right? You try, but motherfucker's going to run, right? Straight up facts. So anyway, so you get this ability to control this, right? And when you realize that, you have everything that you need, right? Okay. No, you're not rich, right? You're not living in a big mansion. I'm living in a townhouse in Columbia that was a rental property and it's a piece of shit that needs a lot of work, right? But it's home, right? And I'm working on it and we're making it beautiful, right? But whatever, right? I have everything I need, guys, right? I realize now by getting this piece of puzzle that I've been missing, right? That there's nothing else that I need out of this dimension or this reality that we're living in, right? Doesn't mean I don't want to provide nice things for my family or my wife or, any of that stuff because we're entitled to it, right? Just like you are, like everybody is. We're entitled to our fair share of the universe. It doesn't belong to anybody, right? It belongs to everybody and everything. So we're entitled to that, right? But you have to be in a place where you can control it to enjoy it and not misuse it and not abuse it because it is powerful. I mean, you can use this to manipulate people. You can use this to, you can choose to feed that negative side, or you can choose to feed the positive more, or at least, and it's what I'm trying to do because, let's be real, man. I like to get high, I like to party, I like some fun shit, right? But we got to keep it balanced, right? We got to keep those vibrations, those universal vibrations in check, right? Play in the dark a little bit, play in the light a little bit, and back and forth and all that, and just do that, right? Don't go far on one end or don't go far on the other end, and you're going to see your life change, right? Universally, we're getting ready to see a big change, okay? And it's going to be a monster, right? I've heard, people always, predicting end times and predicting disaster and, all of that shit, right? I'm not predicting a fucking thing, okay? I just know what's happening, okay? And you decide for yourself, right? That's all I can tell you. We are going through this shift, man. And unfortunately, there's going to be casualties, right? Just like there are in any battle of energy or war or whatever, because it's been such a long time since we've been into this space, right? And there's something else about 1,000-year orbit I'm looking into. Don't know a whole lot about it, but I'm digging into that as well. But it's an opportunity for us as a planet and as a species, okay, as we enter this phase of positivity, okay, to get things in balance. Now, I can't tell you how long that's going to take. Like I said, I didn't get my balance until I was 63 years old, right? So I have no clue how long it takes to balance the fucking planet, right? 26,000 years, you get a chance, right? That's what I'm understanding, right? Every 26,000 years, we get an opportunity to balance things a little bit, okay? And if we do that and we can get it somewhat balanced, man, just close enough, right, to being in that good vibration situation, then you're gonna see a massive change globally, not just here in the United States or any other continent. It is going to be a dramatic global change, right? And we're seeing spurts of it with people are saying to these organizations or whatever they've had enough, right? And we'll get into that. I want to get in. I want to make sure before I get too deep into these subjects that I'm completely licensed and copyrights are all taken care of and all of that nonsense, because I'm going to talk a truckload of shit. Okay. And I mean, it might be a couple of truckloads. So, stand by for that. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be, it's going to be inquisitive. It's going to be all those things, guys, because we're going to talk, like I said, on this show, this particular show, right? I'm going to do my best to not talk about me as much. Okay. I will talk about me some because it's necessary to tell this. In order for me to be able to tell you what I'm telling you, you have to get little glimpses of what I had to do. So, but my other shows that I'm doing, the live that I'm doing on Facebook and YouTube right now, that show is more about me. This show, everything is under the gigs up, the jigs up, however you want to say it. It's pronounced the jigs up, just like my last name is pronounced Gignac. We pronounce it Gignac. It's always been that way. So we call it that because the veil was lifted off of me. So the jig's up. Can you stomach it? That's going to be the question. Do you want to stomach it? Right? Because I'll talk about anything, guys. I'll talk about race. I'll talk about what we've done to each other throughout the course of history. I will talk about religion. We'll talk about, fucking whatever, man. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever. I don't care. Okay. I want to talk about all of it, right? Because it all has a place, right? It all has a place in this game we're playing, right? And in understanding energy, okay, and once you can understand energy, you're going to find out how easy it's going to be for you to do the things you thought you couldn't do, right? That's what happens when you're able to control that energy, right? Then you are steering your ship, right? Not somebody else, okay? Right now, okay, most of us are letting someone else steer our ships, right? And I want to get into that. You're all going to say, fuck you. Nobody steers my ship. I'm in control. I'm the captain of my fucking boat. No, you're not. Okay. Wake the fuck up and I'll explain it to you. Okay. But once you become the captain of your own ship, you're intergalactic, man. Okay. You're intergalactic. And we're going to get into all that. And it's good stuff, man. Yes, I'm going to talk about some negative shit. Right? Because you have to, because it exists. Okay. But, we focus so much more on the negative, right? I mean, if you think about it, if you think about our media outlets, they focus on what sells, right? What sells, right? Little Johnny helping an old lady across the street doesn't fucking sell. So we ain't going to talk about that too much. Every once in a while, we're going to throw that in there just to say, hey, look, we do talk about it. But get for real, okay? Look at it. Look at it. And I don't care what media outlet you listen to. I don't. It doesn't matter. Just listen to what they're saying, right? And they're feeding the negative. They're feeding the negative energy, right? And I know why they're doing it. Okay. And we'll get into explaining that because, once you can understand how you control and how you can control this energy, you're going to start realizing a whole lot of shit. Okay. And then you're going to start seeing a whole lot of stuff, right? Not ghosts or visions in the night, but just things that happen in your day to day, and you go, wow, never saw that before. Wow, what an amazing sight, right? And it happens to me every day. It happens to me when I see something, hear something, listen to something, talk about something. It just, I keep getting amazed that it's there for all of us. Okay. Um, all of us. Here's why I think I got censored on Facebook. I'm going to say this real quick, and I want to end this show because I don't want to keep this one too long right now. But I'm going to talk for as long as you guys want to listen, or as long as I feel like talking, either one. So anyway, I'm thinking about the earth, right? And I was thinking about the beginning of the universe, and I was talking about this earlier, and my audio got censored like shit. I posted it. I mean, you can see it, man. It's crazy. Because what I was saying is when the universe was created, right? When that energy, that blast of whatever kind of energy it is, right? I don't know what you want to call it. It's more than nuclear. It's more than thermonuclear for sure, right? Okay. It's more powerful than anything we've ever seen or created or whatever. Okay. So when that happened, right, and it spewed out all of its little particles of shit across its darkness, the dark void of the universe, there's that's what I want to learn about. What is all that dark stuff that we're in, right? Okay, right? Let's learn about that. We might figure out some real shit. Somebody else said that. I liked it. So I'm saying it. But anyway, when that happened, guys, we were given everything, right? And I've said this a few times, and I'll keep saying it because it's true, right? When the universe was created, everything that we needed was created, okay? Every atom that was necessary, every subatom particle, there's talks about that shit. Don't have a clue. So I'm only talking about what I know about, okay? Every atom that was ever created has everything necessary to do everything that we need to do here on this little ball of dirt, okay? And that's where science comes in, and that's where creation comes in, creating things, because basically what we're doing is we are assembling the largest jigsaw puzzle ever created. Okay, it's an infinite jigsaw puzzle, right? It's the universe, man. It's infinite. It keeps going, and we're trying to figure it out every day, every year, every century, whatever. We keep trying to figure the universe out, right? And that's a beautiful thing, to keep continuing to learn and grow, right? So, so take that in consideration. Everything was created when the universe happened, right? So we have everything we need, and all we are doing on multiple levels, okay? Because this is a multi-level game, right? We're assembling the puzzles, right? So we try to assemble our puzzle, right? Our little, I don't know how many atoms are in my body, a couple 100,000 million or some shit. I don't know. It's a lot of them, right? So we're trying to fit all those atom pieces together in a way that makes sense to us, right? And then we're trying to take that and assemble the jigsaw puzzle out here in, three-dimensional land, right? That's a little bit harder of a puzzle, right? And we'll get into that. But anyway, when you get into theology and philosophy and science and all those things, right? All we're trying to do is put pieces of the universal puzzle together, right? And as we do that, as we get pieces of that puzzle put together, okay, we don't invent a fucking thing. Let's be real. We, what is that word called? We expose. No, that's not the right word. It's not create, because it was already created, but we're assemblers. Okay. I'll make it that simple. We assembled the piece that helped us create the cure for cancer, because it's coming. It will happen. Right. I don't know when. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and sound like I'm a fucking know-it-all, because I don't know shit. Right. Other than what I know is my truth. Right. My word. So when you figure that out and you understand that that's what we're doing, is just trying to put pieces of a puzzle together, you know, and you always got to look for those pieces. You can never stop looking for them because, you'll never complete the puzzle, right? Never happen. And that's true of ourselves, right? We always got to keep looking for the one little piece of that puzzle that makes it all make sense. Okay. And we struggle with that. And I know why we struggle with it. And we're going to talk about that as well. Okay. Because if you start grasping what I'm talking about, the top of your head's going to fucking explode. Okay. And your family's going to think you've lost your mind. And, you're going to do all the things that you need to do to satisfy their fear, right? Because that's what it is, right? They're afraid for my well-being, right? I respect that. you know um a few weeks ago when I was going through this shift, there was a couple times I scared myself, right? But we'll get into that. So I got my puzzle piece, right? And that's when all the dominoes fell, man. Okay, everything started happening, right? And you start seeing things in a way that it's hard to describe. I mean, the clarity, not just in the visual clarity of things, but the mental clarity. And for my Apple podcast, I just want you all to know, I don't talk like this, man. Okay, I am not a talker, right? You ask anybody that knows me, now, don't get me wrong. When I'm at work and I'm a salesman, which is what I did most of my life, I put on my stage face and I go, play my role, right? But outside of that, I'm I'm an observer and a listener, right? I like to hear and listen and learn and understand, right? Um, and now that I've done that and I've found my piece of puzzle, I just want to leave breadcrumbs for you guys. Anyway, I'm squinting because I got my glasses off. This show went about 42 minutes. I don't know if that's long or not for a podcast. We'll figure that out too. I see some go on for hours and hours and hours. I guess. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. I would like to invite guests on to talk about this shit. If you want. If you don't, I get it. If you are a company or a business that thinks along these lines and want to help get the word out, you're more than welcome to help me grow this thing if you want. If you don't, it's cool, man. I'll grow it slow and steady. I got no problem with that. Like I said, I don't need a thing. I really don't. But I am here to teach, or not teach, because I'm not a fucking teacher. Okay. I'm here to show you guys that want to see and want to understand and are ready, because you have to get ready, okay, to find your piece of the puzzle, right? I can help with that. I can't do it for you, but I can help with it. I'm not a spiritualist. I'm not a guru. I'm not a yogi, right? I'm a 63-year-old dude living in a basement in Columbia, Maryland, okay? But I got my piece of the puzzle. Okay. And it's powerful and we're going to have fun with it. Anyway, Apple Podcast folks, thanks for listening. I'm going to look over this thing and then download it to you guys. YouTube folks, as always, thanks for watching, or watching whenever, or not watching, or whatever. It's all good. Peace, love, and I'll talk to you the next show. See ya. Now I got to figure out how to do this. End stream. I got that. All right, now we go over here.